Chapter 4, Lesson 1, Terminating and Repeating Decimals. You will be able to write fractions as terminating or repeating decimals, and write decimals as fractions. If possible, make the denominator a power of 10. If you cannot do that, then just divide. Write each fraction or mixed number as a decimal. Then determine if they are terminating or repeating. Terminating means the decimal ends. Repeating means the decimal goes on forever and repeats. And what I mean by repeats is that a number, any number, or numbers other than 0. So for example, 5.70 with the zeros repeating, we don't consider that a repeating decimal. We consider this a terminating decimal because those zeros are unnecessary to write. However, if I had 5.7 and the 7 continued, we would call that repeating. Similarly, if I had 707070, that can also be repeating because the 7 and the 0 both repeat. Okay? But just when there's a 0 all by itself at the end, we consider that a terminating decimal. We consider that decimal to end. But do keep in mind that with terminating decimals, those zeros do repeat at the end forever. So this one is considered terminating. So 74 hundredths. You say the decimal. Oops. You say the fraction, and then write the decimal. 0.74. 7/20ths, I can make that denominator 100 by multiplying by 5 on numerator and denominator to get 35 hundredths. Now I have a place value, and I know it's 0.35. Letter C, -5 3/4. -5 will definitely be the first part of my decimal. It'll be the whole number, technically integer. And 3/4, I can definitely make 4 into 100 by multiplying by 25 and doing the same up top. 3 times 25 is 75. So 75 hundredths, -5 and 75 hundredths means our decimal is -5.75. -6 1/2, I can make this into a denominator of 10 by multiplying top and bottom by 5. So we have -6 5/10, or -6.5. 3/8. Now, 8 can't go into 10 or 100, and I don't know off the top of my head if it goes into 1,000, so here's an instance where we should divide. 8 can't go into 3, add a decimal into 0. 8 goes into 30 3 times, which is 24. Subtract and get 6. Bring down a 0. 8 into 60, 7 times, which is 56. Subtract and get 4. Bring down a 0. 8 into 40, 5 times, which is exactly 40. So our decimal here is 0.375. F, -1/40th. Again, I don't know what 40 can go into off the top of my head, so I will just divide. Can't go into 1. In fact, can't go into 10. Can go into 100 twice, which is 80. Let's fix that. And we have 20. Bring down a 0. Goes into 200 exactly 5 times. So I have 0.025, and do not forget the negative sign. So really with division, you're just going to carry down that positive or negative. 7/9. 9 cannot go into a power of 10. So we need to do some division. 9 goes into 7, 0 times. Goes into 70, 7 times, which is 63. Subtracting gets 7. Bring down a 0. 9 into 70, 7 times, which is 63. This is going to continue. This is repeating. 0.7 repeating. So this right here is a repeating decimal. The prior examples were all terminating because I did not have a repeating digit. And they ended. Letter H, 7/8. Again, let's divide. 8 can't go into 70, or 7, but it can go into 70. 8 times 8 is 64. Subtract and get 6. Bring down a 0. 8 times 7 is 56. Subtract and get 4. Bring down a 0. 8 into 40, 5 times. So our answer is negative 0.875. Letter I, 2 1/8. Divide 8 into 1, 0. 8 into 10, once, which is 8. Subtract and get 2. Bring down a 0. 8 into 20, twice, which is 16. Subtract and get 4. Bring down a 0. 8 into 40, 5 times. So, don't forget the whole number of 2. So 2.125. Letter J, 3/11. Do the division. 11 can't go into 3, but it can go into 30 twice, which is 22. Subtract and get 8. Bring down the 0. 11 goes into 87 times, which is 77. Subtract and get 3. Bring down the 0. 8 into 32 times, which is 22. Subtract and get 8. Bring down a 0. And we have a pattern here. 2727. So negative 0.27. And this is a repeating decimal. And the digits that repeat are both 2 and 7. So we put the bar over both. Write terminating decimals as fractions. Just say the number out loud. For example, 0.23 is read 0 and 23 hundredths, which means 23 hundredths. Don't forget, of course, to reduce. Write the following fractions as or decimals as fractions. So our words here, we would say, we'll bring this up. Zero and 15 hundredths. We would write that as 15 hundredths, or 15 over 100. Our last step would be to reduce, and we can divide numerator and denominator by 5, and we get 3/20. Letter B. would be negative 0 and 2/10. So we would write negative 2 over 10, reduce by dividing numerator and denominator by 2, and we get negative 1/5. Letter C, this would be 0 and 55 hundredths, which would be 55 over 100. Divide numerator and denominator by 5. We get 11/20 reduced. Letter D. Oh, this time we have 5 and 96 hundredths. So 5 and 96 over 100. We can actually divide numerator and denominator by 4. Well, I know the denominator is 25. And let's do a quick division here. 4 into 96. Looks like 24. So 5 and 24 25ths. Find the fraction for each type of fish on the chart. Be sure to reduce. So the guppy fish, we read that 25 hundredths, or 25 over 100. Divide numerator and denominator by 25, and we get 1/4. So the guppy is 1/4. The angelfish is 4/10. Divide numerator and denominator by 2, and we get 2/5. So the angelfish is 2/5. The goldfish is 0.15 or 15 hundredths. Divide numerator and denominator by 5, and we get 3/20. And lastly, a molly is 0.2 or 2/10. Divide numerator and denominator by 2 to get 1/20.